Alright, just testing out the camera, or the mobile phone, with the snowshoe extender. Or I should just say the snowshoe arm, or the snowshoe, I don't know. But anyways, just trying to see where I am here. I'm so far away though. I should have used, hold on. What I should have done was have some kind of marker. Hold on, I'll use the ruler. That way I can see where the hell I'm supposed to be. Alright. If I can see the ruler, then we're good. Otherwise I need to go up more. Keep going, Chris. Keep going. Keep going, Chris. Alright. There we are. Okay. That's more or less straight. Jesus Christ, it's crookeder than a dog's hind leg. I'll have to fix that. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Okay, I'm going to play with this for now. I got to clamp her down. Let's see what I get with this thing. Maybe better to use the mobile phone for the grand strategy, is what I'm thinking. And then for, it's just the way it's set up. I mean, I've got the map basically set up like I'm trying to view it portrait mode, but the map is landscape. So as you can see, I'm getting a massive amount of cropping and way too much wasted space on the left and right. But that's the way it goes. Alright. Well, let's just see what happens, because I need to see what it's going to be. I'm going to turn on the light anyways, though. I think it's a good idea. I'm not even sure how long the battery's going to last. We'll see. Yeah, I'm just replacing the counters here for, yeah, good God, it's crooked tough. Like I said, this is a test. So I found out that, I'm so happy, man, I can't believe it, that Meandering Mike was able to figure out what that, where that game came from. So, excuse me, so what I did was I went to the SPI, some guy has an incredible SPI resource site, and I took a look at the PDF of the rules for this, for Barbarian Kingdom, I think, and Barbarian Kingdoms, and yeah, because Barbarian King is another game from another company. Anyways, listen to this. And I always wanted to use this counter. When I remembered that I had the counter, I was like, I wanted this counter somehow to represent my version of Sam and Frodo, the German expeditionary force, and them traveling to get to Mount Doom here. And I was like, I don't know how I can use them really, but I was like, well, you still need to have a marker for now to see where you're going to be, where you need to be for so many turns to get to Mount Doom before the end of the scenario. And it's weird because I said before, I don't want to play like gamey that way, but I'm doing also the exam, so it's kind of like both, if that makes any sense. I'm still going to be playing it out like the Germans are going to continue on with the war, and the Russians are, and the Austrians are, and so on and so forth. But for the exam purposes, the exam is I've got 8 turns as the Central Powers to do this. So I'm actually working backwards. We'll see in a minute. But anyways, I'll go back to this. So, oh my God, you won't believe what the name is of this counter, the creature. It's a war frog, or a swamper. I'm like, hello, there's swamp everywhere. This is the whole bloody thing, the whole point of this area. Swamps and lakes, for Christ's sakes. So I was like, oh my God, perfect. Then I'm like, well, I better go and find out what the bloody German words are for war frog, because I'm using it, man. And it's if I put them together, which I think I can do because it seems like they did that quite often, and I'll tell you why in a second. Kriegfrosche, I think is the word. So, excuse me. So it'll be Operation Luther, and the code name for my Sam and Frodo is going to be Kriegfrosche. So I've even got Der Weltkrieg in the flippin' name. Like, come on, man. This is just getting... I almost feel like the happy police. Hold on, I gotta get some water. Or some leftover tea. Oh, goody, I got some. Anyways, I almost feel like the happy police are going to show up and say, look, you've committed a major crime. Oh, you're too happy. Anyways, and this is the other beautiful thing that I love. When I put the two words together, Kriegfrosche, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, sorry. F-R-O-S-C-H-E, I do believe. It reminded me of Dad versus Son helping me out with the fire support markers in D-Day Quad Deluxe, which I still need him to help me out with because I screwed up some of the more of the pictures and the things. Anyways, he is so good with these things, man. Like, anyways, he was, you know, I'm showing like these crazy pictures. Like some of, to me, are like vacuum cleaner, toaster. I don't know what the hell they are. And he's like, oh, that's a Panzerschrift or. Like I said, I don't even know the names. But anyways, it reminded me of that. And I was like, oh, yeah, I just love all these little, what I'm saying. Anyway, so I made up some markers. I'm going to put them down. So what I'm trying to do here is I want to create a corridor that Kriegfrosche will not ever have to deal with an enemy zone of control to get there. I need them... essentially, and here's the victory conditions, and I think this is good. I don't, or I'm not saying victory conditions. I'm giving, okay, this is how I'm going to calculate demoralization points in a minute. Hold on, I just want to pop a few on because I really like the newer look. Yeah, I just did these this morning in MS Paint, and I like the look. And you're going to be 06 November turn. Yeah, I wanted to keep, you know, use kind of like the same color palette with the Kriegfrosche there guy. So my little war frog. And so you would be 04 November turn. That's what I need you to be at the bare maximum. You can be there earlier, obviously, who cares? But yeah, hold on here. I even listened to some crazy weird YouTube thing called Toad Tales. I'll have to go and look up the link. So it was half ambient, and then it would slip over to this guy who was doing the ambient music, I guess, talking about these Toad Tales of like RPG-ish thing of, it reminded me of all those old British English novels, like, you know, the along the riverbank type stuff and all that, whatever. Yeah, it was nice, but it was just weird. I wasn't expecting all of a sudden this tale to pop up in the middle of this ambient music. I was like, what the hell is going on? But yeah, I subscribed for sure. Anyway, so I'll also explain to you, so that's what I want to see here. So this and this guy here, the cavalry unit, is just to remind me that's going to be one of the first places we need to do. Basically what I need to do is, it's going to have to be quick. I need to seal off, and remember I told you already that Grodno and Baranovici, their Mount Doom, are two areas that the reinforcements pop up from. That's why this whole thing exists in the first place, which we'll talk about in a minute. But that spot I'm going to have to nail right away. So that one's going to be my first thing. I'm going to occupy it with cavalry. So the whole reason why this thing exists is because way back when I just couldn't leave it alone. I was like trying to figure out why did Dave Schroeder keep picking one of these hexes as the reinforcement spots for the Russians, and I thought maybe it was his way of trying to time it, saying, okay, by this time in the war they would be at this location, you know, based on movement points and train, whatever. He tried to like set it up for you, but it still bothered me. And then I started realizing for, you know, other things, I was like, okay, of course, because of the scale, he's not able to have certain things. That's when I was like trying to look up names for rivers and other spots. It was just driving me crazy. Anyways, that's when I found Baranovici and the home of the Stavka, and then they had to evacuate after the Gorlitz Tarnów breakthrough, aka the Great Retreat, and then also. And it's been staring, so and then I made a counter on the other map, and it's been staring at me like this freaking blink, 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 constantly blinking at me. And then with the game with Ken, the Gorlitz Tarnów breakthrough that's on the kitchen wall, and his first push towards this area, and me seeing how vulnerable it was, I went, let's put 2, 2, and 2. Let's put this all together. Also, it reminded me so much of when I was playing Lord of the Rings Risk with Zoe way back when. It just reminded me so much. Like, here's these big battles going on, and all this time you got this little party with a little ring going. And I just was like, you got it, man. Just do it. It's not going to be as easy as I thought anymore, because I'm going to put in some, I've put in some, well, victory conditions or whatever the heck you want to call it. So if I can nail Mount Doom by the end of 07 November with infantry combat units in it, not just exerting the zone of control, but actually in that spot, and not just cavalry, I'll get 50 demoralization. The Russians will have inflicted, they'll accumulate 50 demoralization points. Okay, so we'll start. So in other words, it's not like I'm like, da-da, game over. Then the other one is going to be every single Russian unit that is beyond pre-war Russian borders that cannot make it back in one turn using non-column movement, and as long as if they can't also not end up in a Russian fortress or not end up in a hex, regardless if it's an enemy zone of control, like uncontested or not. So they have to be not in an enemy zone of control or in a fortress, and have to make it in one turn back into the border using non column movement. If they can do that, if they can't do that, sorry, then they're considered to have surrendered, and we're going to accumulate all the points. So that could be a whacking. That's why I was thinking, come on, baby, the more the merrier. Come on in, come on in. I don't, but I mean, that's gamey. I'm not going to do it that way. But there's a side part of me is like, God, I hope the Russians really do a damn good job and stay there. But anyways, like, so that's going to be, yeah. So and the only other thing now is I realized how much flipping time it takes to turn these, stripping the garrisons into, replacement units and then to active ground combat units. So what I need to do is now start stealing away all the troops that have any freaking strength points that are not... oh my God, maybe I can even try some crazy little tricks. Remember, you do some recombination. I could do some funky little recombinations. Maybe I can pop a guy right down to 1, and he needs 7 more because I did some funky well, we'll see, because that way it may be easier, like more efficient to use the rail and so on and so forth. It's going to be lots of crazy stuff going on. I can't wait. But yeah, so I have to bring all those guys onto the fortresses and have core HQs there before I start stripping them. They have to be ready, and I have to make sure I figure out the exact timing. I know it's at the movement phase, but does that mean at the begin? Does that eat up their movement phase, or are they considered ready to rock and roll? I don't know. So I don't want to play that ready to rock and roll, are they not thing. I'll just bring... I'll bring the other guys to them. Pop, away we go. We'll see. But it's going to be... So, like I said, as long as I can get to 7. So here's 06 November turn. Oh, meandering Mike, I love you. And then there's the 05 November turn here. And then as long as I can be here the latest, 04 November. So kind of seems like a lot of time, but not really, because I have to be careful. But maybe because I do have a bit of time, I can use single tracks to get them over there and still be out extra sneaky. That would be so cool. Anything else I can say? I don't know if you can see them, but I turned Radham. I just used a 3D printed church. I thought that was fairly large. And then this other one, I can't remember. It's from some game, but I just like, I don't have time to start fiddling around. So I used a smaller scaled version of some castle-y thing for Kielce. And then, like I said, the cavalry, just to remind me to get my ass over there. And I think that's about it. So something else I wanted to talk about. No, I'm just going to make some counters to represent, like I said, where, yeah, like how many strength points need to go this way and how many I can convert garrison-wise, like that type of stuff. And then, yeah, I think that's, yeah, away we go. But I'm just going to be Mr. Pokiodios. I'm doing it my way, like, and I'm loving it. And, yeah, lots of other things are starting to mesh in. So, like I said, with the calculation of the DMs, so it's not just going to be oh, Chris, you got to Mount Doom and it's over. No, none of that stuff. So I'm starting to think, well, all we're going to do is probably tip it over so much. But if you look at, like I said, in the later ramifications, what would have happened if, you know, this catastrophe would have happened for the Russians? I mean, what would that have done for refocus onto Serbia? What about the Ottomans? I doubt very much Italy would have said, yeah, let's go. We're going to start attacking the Austrians. 1950, I don't think so. That type of stuff. So yeah, I'm like, ooh, interesting. But like, oh, and the very final little tiddly bit is for the live stream on Saturday. I think that should be all right. I'm going to try to figure that out because I don't think I'll be able to do both at once. In other words, I won't be able to monitor any comments and do like the virtual tour because I have to use the mouse. Like I have to get in on the website and like activate and like, go there. Like you go to like one part of the screen and then the narrator will start yabbering away and they say, oh, if you look to the left, you can see our, whatever, that type of thing. But as far as I know, that should be all right. I don't think I'll be breaking copyright or whatever because it's free. It says that actually I'm going to contact them again and say, look, man, I'm going to consider myself a flippin' educator for this type of thing. So, and I'm Mr. No Money here. So like, never going to happen, never in a trillion years. Like, I'm trying to, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think that's it. Darn it. I always like, oh, I've got 1,000 things to say or think about, but whatever. Yep. So that's it. Like I said, I'm loving this little tiddly bit and yeah. Okay. Hope you're having a great time. Bye. I gotta figure out how to edit since I'm using the flipping whatever here. Not the, yeah.